Welcome to Cardano Over Coffee. Please remember to join us live Monday through Friday on Twitter Spaces at 1:30 p.m. UTC, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube and download the podcast on all major platforms. Today's show, we have Continuity Token, who are helping safeguard your Cardano NFTs by preserving Cardano history for generations to come. Listen in to learn more, and we look forward to seeing you at Rare Evo. Where? Denver, Colorado, August 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets at rareevo.io. Use coupon code COC10 for 10% off. Let's jump right in.
Yeah, I'm usually, most of the time, I'm just listening and thinking about what other people are saying. And this is actually great. I think the conversation that we had before was really good. And I tend to agree with most of the topics. One thing I was going to mention is that with this whole mess about Cardano being a security, we really need to also do the work on our side. Right now, there is so much we can do to increase decentralization of the network. At the moment, there are only two companies that can initiate a hard fork on the network. And for example, we are all using the software node written by just one single company. So I think there is much to do in terms of decentralization, because it's not only about having a few thousand pools, but it's also different aspects.
I've asked about that in the past, about somebody else writing another node, maybe outside of what we already have, and I always got pushback from that, and I don't understand why. Like, oh, we don't need that, and I'm thinking, well, technically, it would be nice just for decentralization reasons to have somebody else.
Because I mean, we are betting on just one software, right? We are just betting on IOG not making any critical mistakes, and we are betting the whole network on it. So yeah,
right. So I agree with you 100%. But I think what you guys are doing is really exciting. So let's talk about what you guys are working on. And why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and how you got to crypto and maybe Cardano.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
So my name is Marek. I founded a company called 5Binaries. I got into the crypto very early. Like in 2013, I'm a very good friend with Stick, who founded the company called Trezor, which is doing the hardware wallets. I'm also, we were living in one apartment with Slash, who actually invented the notion of pools, so those Bitcoin mining pools. So I'm in the crypto industry for a very long time, and I think in Cardano space as well. We were around when we were testing the first community nodes with Shelly. So 5Binaries as a company was founded, I think, a year before the Shelly hard fork. And we employ now about 10 people full-time, and we are doing 100% work on Cardano-related projects. So that's very exciting. Our flagship project that probably a lot of you know, it's Blockfrost. But today I'm here to present our next project, which is called Continuity Token. And our aim is really to increase also the decentralization of the NFT space, not only of the blockchains, right? So, as I said, in the Continuity Token, we want to provide a solution to preserve the digital representation of Cardano NFTs. And you are probably asking, like, why do I need to protect my NFTs? Because they're obviously stored on thousands of decentralized nodes that are running the Cardano blockchain itself. And the problem is they're actually not. Not many people know this, but most of the Cardano NFTs are not, the media itself is not stored directly on the Cardano blockchain. We are just storing a pointer, like a URL or a hash, to a different network. So most of the time, most of the projects are using a network called IPFS, which is short for Interplanetary File System. This network is similar to BitTorrent, which means that at least one entity needs to store your Cardano NFT media in order to retrieve it in the first place, right? So if no one is doing this, you really risk to lose it forever if you don't have a local copy. It will be just garbage collected from the IPFS network, and when you open your Cardano wallet, you will just see a blank image. So I think we all agree that this is not ideal and completely pointless when it comes to the eternal idea of NFTs. So we came with a solution that we call the continuity token, and it works in probably very simple way. Just by holding the token in your wallet, we are going to fetch all of your Cardano NFT media, and depending on your plan, we are going to back it up in different ways. So we can start with just holding one token, which we call the hot plan, because we are going to store your media on different online servers across the globe. So we are sure that the media itself is not removed from the IPFS network. Higher plans that we are providing are more long-term and more of a cold solution. So, for example, our cold plan, which is like holding 5 of those continuity tokens, we will then burn your media into a special this carbon glass disk, and we are going to store it in a physical safe. This is not just like a deposit box. This is a serious underground physical safe that has the same protection certificates as the safes of central banks here in Europe. And the highest plan, which we call the Arctic plan, is when we print your media into a special film and we stored it in a abandoned mine in the Arctic permafrost. So that has a longevity of at least 1,000 years. So, because we are doing this in a collaboration with the Arctic War Archive, which is trying to preserve the mostly digital heritage for future generations. So, I think like long after we are all gone, everyone on this call, there will be still like a part of your NFT around for future generations. Which I think it's pretty funny to think that in a few thousand years, some anthropology student might be writing a diploma thesis about your space bat or something like that. So yeah, in a short, that is what the project is about. And let me know if you have any questions or if I can explain this concept a little bit better, because it's a little bit problematic as it's a little bit complicated to explain this to people that this is a thing. Yeah.
So let's take a few steps back, and you know, how did you come to this idea? How did you kind of decide to build this company? And can you talk a little bit about the founders and the founding team and how many there are and where they're at and stuff like that?
Yeah, basically. So the founding team is like a small sub team of people of 5 binaries. You can see it also like on our website. I will maybe speak. So the founding team is something different from a group of decentralized people that we call the Continuity Angels, and those are basically 5 people trusted from the community. You may know Alessandro, Linda, Malik. There is Patrick for NFT Maker, Shweta. So really a group of decentralized trusted people, and those people are actually outside of the team, but they have the legal power to actually access all of this content. So if something ever happened to us as a team, they have the full legal power to represent us and to fetch this media. So if a nuclear war breaks out and Prague is annihilated from Russia, you will still be able to access your NFT in the Arctic.
Well, I was definitely worried about that situation, so I appreciate you clearing that up.
I have a question. Do we think that like that's a little bit of overkill for NFTs, right? Like I could understand if I had some real estate or something which isn't really on the blockchain yet. We're talking NFT pictures. Is 1,000 years really something that's necessary? I even get upset sometimes when Lido asks about 50 years. Because if you look back at 8-tracks, let's take a look back, right? Storing data, music data on an 8-track. It's now, what, 50 years later? I don't know, give or take. I can't find an 8-track player to access that media.
Yeah, so this is so For example, in the like highest plan, the Arctic one, this is not actually on a USB stick or something. It is really printed on a film. So it's like this high resolution, really physical film that is using in the movie industry. So the next generation will just need to have some basic optics to read it. And I kind of agree. Like the higher plan is mostly like a geeky thing to have. Just I think it's just like the idea that you will be part of the human history forever, and like in 1,000 years, someone will be able to access your specific NFT. So, is it a overkill? Definitely, but it's good. It's overkill, I think.
Are you going to have the nut coin in there?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, Nutcoin was the first fungible token, but it is a one-of-one, so it technically could be a non-fungible token also on the Cardano blockchain. I remember watching it get minted.
Yeah. So the policy expired already, and there's only one, so it's officially an NFT from this like
Yeah.
point of view.
So that's kind of how I look at it. If it's a fungible token, but it's a one-of-one, technically it's not fungible anymore.
Yeah.
So if the policy's locked.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout outs for that. You have fast fingers.
Yeah, we like that's one of uh, our like fun challenges that we try to beat other team to be like the first on the blockchain. Uh, the NFT itself was fun, but one thing I'm really proud of my team is actually we executed the first smart contract on Cardano blockchain, and that was even racing the Bluetooth team at IOG to be the first. So that was a real success for us.
So many milestones, so many milestones. Can I ask you a question about the partnership with Arctic World Archive? And I guess they don't really offer crypto solutions, right? So is it how exactly is the partnership working? What do you guys do? Because I've had people ask me, well, can I just go directly to Arctic World Archive? And in my head, I'm like, well, I guess, but I mean, they don't offer the same structure, right?
Yeah.
But I just okay.
Yeah,
So what can you say about
definitely. So the partnership is in most like a legal way that the angels will have access to it, but also in the term that we are actually doing this in larger scale. So it's a little bit cheaper for you to get just the continued token than to just go and store those NFT for yourself. So it's still possible, and I mean we still encourage this. Like we are just one of the possible solution to back up your NFTs, right? So we all of decentralization. We always say don't put all your eggs in one basket. So as many ways as you can protect your NFTs, the better.
I got one more question. What's the size? Like, how much can I store? Because I know some of these NFTs I have a film, for Christ's sakes, as an NFT.
Yeah.
I don't know how much room that takes up, but like, what am I looking at as storage specs?
Yeah, so officially we are saying that for one token you get 2 GB of data, but this is something that we usually actually try to back the entire wallet unless there is something crazy. Like you are like we were trying to fetch one of the NFTs and it's like almost 1 TB of data, which is someone made that for a joke, I guess. So we guarantee that at least 2 GB of data per token will back that up. And of course, if you have like 3 tokens, that will just multiply. So
what's the cost of the token?
So for one token right now is 100 ADA, and different plans have like different. So for the IPFS spinning, you just have to have one token. For the coal plan to be burned on the carbonic glass disk, it's 5 tokens, and for the Arctic one, it's 50 tokens. And this is basically for as long as we exist. So when you are holding that token in your wallet and you buy a new NFT, we are taking the snapshot at the epoch boundary. So if there is like a new NFT, that one will be backed up as well. And basically, this is one of the advantages that we have the partnership with the the Arctic archive is that because we are doing this continually, we are also able to back up new NFTs our customers are buying, right? So if it would be up to you, you have to like buy the whole disk. Or I don't know what is like the minimum. I think it's 1 GB. You have to buy from them in order to store. But given we are doing this continually for a lot of users, so this is a little bit cheaper and easier for us.
Dudes, you have a question?
Yeah, hey Merrick, I love your project a lot, man. I think it's really cool to have new solutions for everybody on Cardano. I love NFTs and NFT history. Shout out to the Nut coin that you made. I think it's a really cool piece of history. And I have a lot of different questions with the project, and I'm really glad to see you answered some of the things that like Smogpool was mentioning. Just to be brief, I guess, is there like a filter mechanism that you're going to have with your dashboard that you had mentioned? So, for example, we do have assets that are almost 1 TB, and they're educational assets. They have like 6 hours of workshop content, right? So they're quite large. And is there a way like you can prevent someone from just like spamming a wallet and just throwing things in there that have a lot of data, and then you do the snapshot and all of a sudden everything is filled up kind of thing? I'm curious to know your perspective there.
Yeah, so what we basically do is at every epoch boundary, we take the snapshot of all the NFTs that are held in Cardano wallets that have the continuity token, and most of them are just spinning fine. But there is like a small number of NFT projects that are problematic. For example, as you mentioned, the size is too big, or usually they are not following a specific standard that is actually implemented in the ecosystem. So we look at all of those failures one by one. So we see even if that project is not compatible with what Cardano ecosystem is using today, or if it's too big, we might have to make a decision that we will include it anyway, even if it's not structured as it should be. So, and also if you can think of any NFTs that are worthwhile to store for like the public good, I would say, please just write to us and we will probably do it. Like if there is any educational material that is worthwhile, we will definitely pick that up for the community.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. I was researching a bunch about this project and all the different things, and again, I really love. I think that this is one of the coolest services ever to come out on Cardano. And I saw there was another NFT studio, Top Dog Studio, who's also working with the World Archive. I was curious to know, are you in conversation with them, or how is the continuity token maybe a bit different?
We are not. It's probably that they actually are backing up that on their own. I think the continuity token is different, that we are providing this service to also end users, but also to projects. So, for example, space bats are all backed up, so you don't really need to buy a continuity token if you have a space bat. Like all of them, all 10,000 of them are already backed up. So that's what we offer to NFT projects, but we are like more aimed to the single NFT collector. So if you are collecting NFTs and you have like 100 projects, depending on the quality of the project, the issuer or the project developer may have or not have this backup in mind. Because I mean, it's really exciting when you're launching an NFT project and you are pinning all those files. But I think after 2 years, when there is not so much community around, people just tend to cut costs and remove those backups.
Yeah, some of the older NFTs, I make it a habit of revisiting them, and some of them take forever to load again. And you're like, oh my God, they're about to be forgotten. So people don't realize that, right? Like nobody's speeding them up, and if you don't query them, I guess they can just get lost, right?
So this is something actually we have been doing since day one, and so when Cardano NFT has launched, what we did at 5binaries is we are scanning the entire Cardano blockchain, and we are pinning everything we can find out. So we did this because from previous experience at Ethereum and other blockchain, a lot of those projects really had no image. Like you loaded your wallet and half of them was like missing. So we started to pin everything, kind of like a community project to bootstrap the Cardano NFT ecosystem. But now it has grown so much that it costs us a few $1,000s a month to maintain this service. So we said, like, guys, this is like, we cannot do this anymore, and we need to come up with a really good solution that has a business plan behind it. So this is why Continuity Token was born. So we are now really giving this responsibility to different NFT collectors and holders for like 100 ADA back their entire collection.
This is great. And can you, like, I know that you have a limited supply, right? Can you talk about the supply of the token, and are you planning on adding more, or how does that work?
No, so we can provide like sanely up to 30,000 tokens. The demand is, I don't think we will sell all of them. So I don't think that is a problem. That is like what we can technically manage internally without like having to grow the team too much. But I mean, I don't think like we will sell all of those at any point. Maybe in the future, maybe during the bull run or something, but not right now.
So if a project is interested in doing this for their whole entire project, should they be reaching out to you, or would you think it's better for them to reach out to the?
Yeah, definitely. They should reach out to us. We already have like some new partnership. For example, Cardano Pages reach out to us. Matt is doing like really those awesome illustration. So if you go to our website, there is a section we call Eternal Projects, and those are actually NFT projects that we work directly to back up the entire collection, not just those that are held by users somewhere.
Got it. And as we move into the new cases of NFTs, I mean, you will think, I mean, as Hero was saying, like, these are just NFTs and pictures, but I mean, we're going to move into more use cases. And that's when I think that maybe this will come in handy as well, right?
Yeah.
If we're using it for other things.
Well, what we really would like to do, and we will see like how the Continental Code will go, but if there's a demand, we really want to push it to have it a little bit more decentralized. And this is some discussion with Hydra, right? That were before. Ideally, Continuity Token will be decentralized in a way that you would be, by providing storage for those tokens, you will get like a certain value of the token back, basically. So anyone can be the host for those tokens, and they will get just paid for hosting the storage itself. So that's like the
that's interesting. I'd like to hear more about that when you have more developments on that. But I saw that Lucky had their hand up.
Yeah. This is the first I'm hearing about this project. So yeah, it really sounds interesting. I just had one question. So when you purchase one of these tokens and you want to back up your collection, is that one token per policy ID, or can you have multiple policy IDs under that up to 2 gigs?
Yeah.
So how would that work?
No, it is like your entire wallet. So one token and like everything that you hold in your wallet. So all the
up to 2 gigs.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. That's my only question. Yeah.
I mean, you add more tokens and you need more, more storage.
Yeah, but I mean, let me see. I had somewhere like how much storage would it provide? Like the 2 gigs is like fine for 8,000 space bats. So I think that's quite a lot. But if we are talking about movies or music files, of course, that may run out pretty quickly. But for like standard NFTs, I think it's like I don't think there is I think we were counting and there is only one crazy wallet that holds almost like 3,000 NFTs that will be challenging with one token.
I see. Thank you.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. And I pinned up some stuff at the top for those who want to get more information. Definitely check it out. Go for it,
Yeah, I guess, is there any final like mint date, or is this gonna, like, how long is the mint open?
I think the policy looks somewhere in November, but even if the mint is over, we are just going to move it to a DEX. So, one thing that is not said is we are really interested in how the markets will react to this, because in theory, people will just buy the token before the snapshot is made, and maybe they will later dump it if they want to put it in the, if they are not interested in the hot plan, which is just to have the IPFS spinning. But once this is actually moved in the Arctic archive, there is no way for us to remove it, right? So I think people will just use the DEX to buy the coin before the snapshot, and they're actually dump it after. So we are going just to move everything to a DEX.
But you do the
When
snapshot for the. I'm sorry. Go.
No, you go for it, Jenny.
No, I was just going to ask. Like, you do the snapshot like every epoch for the hot storage, but for the permafrost thing, you do that like once a year. Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
So
Like,
how it works is like for the hot plan, it's every epoch. So every epoch we are opening all the files. For the cold storage, we are doing this every 5 epochs. So every epoch that ends with 0 or 5, we're actually going to burn it into the disk and move it to the safe. But for the Arctic plan, we just, because of the logistics and the travel to Norway and everything, we are going to do that on I think it's in March, that is the anniversary of the hard fork that enable NFTs. So that's when the snapshot is actually going to be made, usually once a year. However, now we are going to announce a snapshot that is closer, probably like in 2 months, that will actually be one of the first, so we don't have to wait all the way to March.
but you'll still include it on all the other snapshots as well,
Yeah.
right? If you have like the 50, got
Yes,
it.
definitely.
Okay, cool.
If you have a higher plan, everything in the lower plan is included, of course.
That's it for me,
Awesome.
Epoch.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. And we're getting to the end of the segment here. So if anyone else has any other questions, now's the time to request speaker or to raise your hand. Nudes, you got something for us?
Yeah, just thinking about like storage limits and things moving forward. Like, let's say if there's a person who has a bunch of cool things backed up, but then later they get some new tokens and they would prefer to choose those instead. Is there a way to like change which ones you're servicing within a wallet?
Yeah, we do plan to have something like this probably in the future, but as I said, like for now, we are not seeing any wallet that will be over any limit, and even if it is, we are just choosing to back it up. Really, that two gigs limit is something that we are committed legally, so that's like the minimum we will back up. But for now, we are backing everything, and yes, as I said, in the future we might have a interface where you will be actually able to choose which one you would like to back up.
Anything else, Nudes?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I think Lucky had their hand up.
Yeah. So, if I'm a content creator and I'm creating a collection, and you're saying that this token's going to sit in a wallet, like, what if I want my entire collection to be, I guess, uploaded? Like, how would that work with the token?
Yeah.
Because all the collection wouldn't sit in my wallet; it would be distributed amongst, many people.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a service we are providing, and we are calling it the Eternal Collections. So if you are an NFT creator, just get in touch with us, send us an email or a DM on Twitter, and we will actually back the entire collection. We are already doing this with Spacebots and Cardano pages, and we are welcome new NFT projects. I think this is one of the benefits that the NFT project could provide to their customers. So yeah.
And that would work the same way. I would have to purchase the token and keep it in my wallet,
No.
or is there?
No, we will just you will get us a list of everything you need to back it up, and we will back it up separately, and your customers won't have to purchase the token anymore in that case.
And what's the cost for something like that?
It's really individual. Like for now, we backed it up basically for free because there are projects we really like, they are cool. But I mean, it depends on the size, right? So But because we are doing this on a larger scale, it will be definitely cheaper than if you do it on your own. But yeah, it depends on the size of the collection.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming, Marek.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you come back.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, we'll try to do some new cool projects and hopefully we'll come back. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Cardano Over Coffee, and thanks to Continuity Token for presenting their project. We look forward to seeing you at Rare Evo in Denver, Colorado, August 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets at rareevo.io. Use coupon code COC10 for 10% off.